Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
Do or do not. There is no try.
So Cry Macho is the new film produced by, directed by, and starring Clint Eastwood. I saw a tweet right after watching this movie that said Clint Eastwood still making movies is the equivalent of James Dean still making movies if he was still alive. Because if he was still alive, he would be about the same age as Clint Eastwood. And this just blew my mind. I have a tremendous amount of love and respect for Clint Eastwood. And I actually admire the fact that he's still working to this day and he's 91 years old. That, my friends, is dedication to your craft, and we should all be so lucky to do the thing we love as long as he's done it. Clint Eastwood has lived his best life in every sense of the phrase.
Damn right, that's the only way I work, Cap.
I love the fact that he reinvented himself and has now become a respected director, especially in the twilight of his career. In fact, right now, at this age, I feel like I enjoy his direction a lot more than I actually enjoy his acting. Cry Macho is a beautifully shot movie. Clint always adds a certain artistic quality to every project that he oversees. You can tell that he cares about the art form of filmmaking because it shows in his work. So again, the direction in this movie is on point. It's the acting that leaves a little bit to be desired. Listen, he's 91 years old. He's limited in what he can do. I get it. But the fact that he is 91 does make for some awkward line deliveries in this movie, which is unfortunate, but it's also expected.
Get off my lawn.
But honestly, as soon as I say that, a scene comes along which makes me think that he still does have the acting chops to pull certain things off. There's a scene towards the end of the movie where he talks to his young co-star about making his own choices. And in that particular scene, I thought Clint was very effective. I just think Clint Eastwood has a very natural way of delivering wisdom, especially as an older actor who's gone through a lot.
That makes sense.
We saw this in his role in Gran Torino as well. But Clint wasn't the only one. I feel like a lot of the actors in this movie left something to be desired with their performances. Dwight Yoakam plays Clint's boss, and every time he delivered a line, it consistently sounded like to me that he was reading off a cue card or something like that. It was very unnatural. Also, Clint's young co-star, Eduardo Minette, wasn't quite able to pull off some of the more emotional scenes in this movie. Now that could be due to a lack of experience in acting, or just simply there's a bit of a language barrier. But I found it very hard to get invested in his character based on the way he was portrayed.
This is whack! I can't get jiggy with this shit!
The story involves a retired rodeo star, played by Clint, of course, who is asked by his ex-boss to go to Mexico and bring back the boss's illegitimate son. Throughout the course of this trip, and after Clint eventually does find and convince the boy to come with him, they do face a lot of challenges along the way. But honestly, a huge chunk of this movie takes place in this small town in Mexico that Clint and the young boy stumble upon in their travels. And you see them start to build a little bit of a life for themselves. Of course, they take a liking to each other, that's a given. But Clint also gets involved with a woman because of course he does. He's Clint Eastwood.
You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky?
And he also manages to impart some cowboy wisdom onto the boy throughout the course of the film as well. This movie, at its core, is about finding your place in the world. And these two misfits, of course, who are thrust together, kind of find peace with each other in this small town. I understand the message that it was trying to deliver, but it didn't feel quite as impactful as I would like it to. This could very well be Clint's final movie, so I wanted some of that real-world emotion to translate over into the story, and I honestly just didn't get that. Perhaps Clint is a little bit too old to pull off that kind of emotionally impactful send-off.
I'm too old for this shit.
I kind of went back to Unforgiven, which in my opinion is a perfect send-off for the Clint macho Western characters that he likes to play. The old gunslinger is pulled back into a situation after he tries to leave that life behind, and he has to come to terms with who he is and either accept it or not. And that movie perfectly captured an aging Clint coming to terms with everything that he's done in his career. And I feel like Cry Macho was trying to channel some of that energy in a more sweet and heartfelt way, but it just didn't come off as effective in my opinion.
I was lucky in the order, but I've always been lucky when it comes to killing folks.
Ironically, this is probably one of the least macho movies that Clint has made in a while. There's even a line in the movie that he states that the macho persona is a bit overrated because you aren't left with much at the end of it all, and even though you think you have everything figured out, you realize that you don't, but it's too late by then, which does very much feel like it's drawing from Clint's real-life career. But again, it just lacked the emotional punch that I was looking for. I guess I just felt like the story should have resonated a lot more than it actually did. Cry Macho is by no means a bad movie. It's still better than most movies that come out these days. It's trying to tell a very heartfelt story about an aging man, but it just doesn't have the substance throughout it to make everything mean more. It comes off as kind of a missed opportunity, and I feel like this movie would have been much better served to have been made a few years ago when Clint had a little bit more range as an actor. I wanted to like this movie a lot more than I actually did, but unfortunately and regretfully, I'm going to have to give Cry Macho the careless Sam Gerard.
I don't care!
Once again, I have a lot of love and respect for Clint, but I had to be honest.
I'm just gonna bash your brains.
Go ahead. Make my millennium.
So have you seen Cry Macho? If you have, let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time right here on Real Shift. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Y'all be cool. Shut up.